White omochi-kun. At mochi school, there are many different kinds of mochi. Anko Mochi-kun is sweet and delicious. Kinako Mochi-kun is soft and fluffy. Mitarashi Mochi-kun is covered with glossy syrup. But white Mochi-kun has nothing on him. He is plain white and has no flavor. I feel a little boring, he thought. White Mochi-kun felt a bit lonely, like he was the only one who was different. One day, Kinako Mochi-kun said,
"Hey, isn't it boring to be just plain white?"
Anko Mochi-kun laughed.
You don't even have any flavor, do you? That's weird.
Mitarashi Mochi-kun was a little worried and said softly,
Is it really weird to be different?
White Mochi-kun couldn't say anything. He just was sitting there, feeling a little lonely inside. Even during playtime, the others would say,
"Since you're white, it's so easy to spot where you are."
White Mochi-kun was always alone. Then, one day,
Today, we have a pool class.
everyone jumped into the water with a splash. But wait. What's this? Kinako, Anko, and Mitarashi. They all dissolved in the water, and turned into plain white mochi.
What? Everyone turned white.
White Mochi-kun was surprised. But a gentle smile spread across his face.
They are just like me.
Hey, do you think maybe we were all white to begin with?
Anko Mochi-kun whispered softly. Mitarashi Mochi-kun nodded.
We just got our colors later.
Kinako Mochi-kun said to White Mochi-kun, with looking a little embarrassed.
I'm sorry for saying it was weird to be plain white.
White Mochi-kun smiled gently.
It's okay. I don't mind anymore.
Then, Anko Mochi-kun said,
From now on, we won't judge anyone by how they look. Because we're all mochi, right?
Yeah, we've learned that what's inside is what really matters.
From that day on, White Mochi-kun could begin spend a good school life. They laughed and talked together happily ever after.
Let's not judge others by how they look.
So that we can stand tall. The beginning of spring. In the soft and warm soil, a tiny bamboo shoot slowly woke up.
How is the outside world?
The sounds and light around here were dazzling. And a little scary. The bamboo shoot didn't know what kind of wind might blow. Or how the rain might fall.
Maybe it's safer to just stay underground.
That thought crossed his mind. But then, something deep inside whispered,
Let's give it a try. Even if I'm scared, I'll take my first step.
And so, with a bit of courage, the bamboo shoot gently peeked his head above the soil. The little bamboo shoot was scared. But each day, he peeked out a little more. Just a tiny bit higher, inch by inch, toward the sky. Day by day, he stretched himself upward. But then, there was the day he got soaked by the spring rain. The day the strong wind made him sway and tremble. The day he felt down, thinking,
Why can't I stand tall like the others?
One day, the little bamboo shoot suddenly noticed something on his body. A hard little line. It looked kind of strange, almost like a crack. He couldn't stop thinking about it.
Is something wrong with me?
He wondered. Worried, he asked his mother Bamboo. She smiled gently and answered,
That's a node. It's a sign that you've grown.
A sign?
His mother Bamboo began to speak softly.
The day you first got soaked by the rain. The day you stood firm in the wind. The day a bug startled you. And the day you felt a little unsure after comparing yourself to others. Each time your heart wobbled, you also wished to be stronger. And with that wish, your body quietly gathered strength. In order to avoid snapping off, a node was formed to help you stand tall. So you see, a node is a mark left by something hard or scary. Something that now helps protect you.
The bamboo shoot looked at his body in surprise. He hadn't noticed it before, but now he was able to see that he had several nodes.
I wasn't weak after all. Even when I was scared, I kept growing. And that's why I have these nodes.
And just then, a tiny seed of confidence began to bloom in his heart. As time passed, the little bamboo shoot grew taller and taller, gaining more and more nodes along the way. The wind that once frightened him, the rain that chilled him to the core, and all the days when his heart nearly broke, he had faced them all. But thanks to them, he has become who he is.
With these nodes, I am strong. With these nodes, I will not break.
Firmly rooted in the earth, he now stands tall as a bamboo reaching for the sky. No matter how the wind blows, no matter how heavy the rain falls, he never breaks. Because inside him were the milestones he had once struggled through, his very own nodes of courage. And now, looking down with a gentle gaze, he is speaking softly to a tiny bamboo shoot just beginning to grow.
It's okay to feel scared. You'll be just fine. You'll grow your own nodes. And they'll make you strong too.
I am the sun. The sun rises from the eastern sky every morning, gently warming everyone with its golden light. One morning, Bunny-chan asked,
Hey, Mr. Sun, how come you show up the same way every day? Isn't it hard?
The sun smiled and said,
Well, sometimes it is tough. But this is my way of saying thank you.
At night, Taki the moon and Hoshi the stars bring kindness to everyone. Kids always look up and say,
Wow, it's so pretty.
I love Taki.
The sun secretly watches those happy smiles.
I want to say thank you for those smiles. That's why I rise into the sky every morning.
But one day, the sun didn't feel very warm or bright.
No one even looks at me anymore.
He sighed.
They just say, it's too bright, or it's too hot.
His feelings of sadness began to gather clouds in the sky. And quietly, the sun hid behind them. The sky stayed gray and gloomy on that day. Flowers closed up. The child, feeling down, said,
It's cold today, and we can't play outside today.
Even the grandma on the park bench shivered and whispered,
If only the sun were out, it'd be so warm.
Even the vegetables in the field sighed.
Isn't the sun coming today?
At night, Taki and Hoshi appeared in the sky.
Mr. Sun, are you okay? Everyone seemed a little sad today.
The sun murmured.
Maybe the world doesn't need me anymore.
The next morning, the sun was still hiding behind the clouds. Then, a child looked up at the sky and quietly said,
Thank you, Mr. Sun, for being there today. Yesterday it wasn't fun. I wanted to play outside, but it was too cold. I hope you'll come out again today.
The words were carried by the wind all the way up to the sky. And slowly, the sun peeked out from behind the clouds. People in town noticed the light.
Look, it's the sun. I feel better already.
Warmth is really such a nice feeling.
Said everyone, smiling. Taki gently whispered,
Mr. Sun, your light brings so many smiles to the world.
The sun's heart began to feel warm again, and he smiled brightly and said,
Everyone smiles. They are my stars, my Hoshi. That's why I shine today, too. Because when we smile, we make the world a little warmer.
The sky was filled with bright and gentle light, and all across town, smiles began to bloom. Your smile might be warming someone up, too.
The special power of humans. One day, all animals from the forest, the sea, and the sky gathered together. It was time for the Great Animal Sports Day. The contestants were cheetah, penguin, bird, and a human boy named Tomo. The first program was sprint race. Ready, set, go! Zoom! Of course, the fastest was the cheetah. The next program was the swimming race in the ocean. Start! Soo! Soo! The winner was the penguin. And then the third program was jumping contest. Boring! The bird flew up high into the sky. Tomo, the human boy, couldn't win any of the programs. Afterwards, he looked very sad. I'm not good at anything, he sighed. He practiced over and over again. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't beat the cheetah, the penguin, or the bird. Then, suddenly, a gentle voice called out to him, Tomo, you have a special power too. It was the voice of a god. A special power? Tomo kept thinking, and thinking. I've got it! I may not be able to run like the cheetah, but I can create something that can run fast. That's why he made a car with wheels. I may not be able to swim like the penguin, but I can create a boat to float on the sea. And I may not be able to fly like the bird, but I can create an airplane to fly through the sky. Tomo used his brain. and created many wonderful things. Thanks to his ideas, now he is able to run faster than the cheetah, cross the sea farther than the penguin, and fly higher than the bird. However, Thomas said quietly, "I cannot become the cheetah, the penguin, or the bird. But I have something special, the power to think and use my brain. That's the most wonderful and special power that only humans have."